Partying bullshit. This party is too lit. Hey,
bankroll, got it.
all I wanna do is party and bullshit. Do something you wouldn't. Listen to the music. All I wanna do is party and bullshit. We be on that hood shit. This party is too lit. All I wanna do is party and bullshit. We be on that hood shit. This party is too lit. All I wanna do is party and bullshit. We be on that hood shit. This party is too lit.
Hey, if y'all ready for the next guest, let me hear you say hell yeah. It's party and bullshit, baby. It's going down in a major way. I got my player partner over here, man. This is one of the finest women I've ever met in my life. You hear me? She's so attractive, I'm so attracted to her. And she's a reality show star. She's an etiquette teacher. She's a philanthropist. She's a relationship guru. She one of the baddest motherfuckers that ever walked this goddamn planet. Come on, and she hails from Mississippi. Do you hear me? Come on, Mississippi. Y'all start coming right now. Give it up for Tara Wallace. Let's go.
See, that made me so nervous. All these beautiful women on the stage. Thank you for creating a lane for all of these beautiful women.
Hey man, I just hope they you know what I'm saying, respect it too and do what they got to do and take it to a whole nother level.
That's right.
Embrace each other and take each other to a whole nother level. Because hey, at the end of the day, y'all all y'all got it.
That's right.
Right? Do y'all understand that?
Yeah.
It's not a competition between you. Can you speak on that, Tara?
Oh, dang.
Are you friends with women?
I'm friends with a lot of women, actually. Not in college, and that's just because I have 8 brothers.
Okay.
So it took me a moment to learn how to relate to women. I thought I was just one of the guys, until my brother's friends started kissing me, and I was like, oh, this is weird. This is weird. What just happened? I thought we was boys. But you know what? It's just a lot of opportunities for you women. Just right at NYU. I mean, they're giving scholarship money for women who are majoring in journalism with minor in economics, and it's just money there for all of these major universities for all of you women that want to like dig deeper. It's 2 years of your life, but it makes such a big difference for where we're trying to go. So make sure that all of you are looking into that, and that you don't think that it just stops here. This is a start. He's created a lane so that you stick your foot in it, and it's up to you guys to just take it and grow, as well as myself.
Word.
Thank you, Jack.
No problem. Ladies, go in. Do your thing.
So the last time you were here, you said that you were going to get into acting, or you were getting into your acting career more. So how's that going for you right now?
Getting into my acting career more, yeah. Because the thing is, I've always been an actor, but reality TV doesn't necessarily create a lane for what I want to do. So I've been auditioning like everyone else. I move all of my furniture. I put the tape up with my ring light, and I send an audition in like everyone else. And it's because I don't want what's just given to reality TV people. It's just, which there's a perk. You know what I mean? We can't lie about that. There's a perk from being on reality TV. And when I receive that script, I'm like, that's not what I want to do. I want this character. So I send it in. And I get no's and rejected like everyone else. Reality TV wasn't like this red carpet laid out for me. And I hold true to the woman who says, this is really difficult. And I'm in it, the struggle, just like you and any other woman, you know, trying to find her way and not just taking what's given.
Have you dealt with sexism in this industry? Because I know there's a lot of people who have, and even going on auditions, maybe even having experienced maybe racial segregation, or so to speak, in like certain roles, because they would say, oh, well, I picture this person being white, or I picture this person being a specific way because of your sex or the height or whatever. You deal with that, no?
Right.
But
Well, you know what happened with me is, and what reality TV did, I won't lie, is it gave me like a set of balls that maybe I didn't have before. So when I say that, I mean that when I first got out of grad school, for someone to give me their time, I'm like, oh, thank you. Just see me for 2 seconds. Now I'm like, no, you got fucking 10 minutes. Like, see it or not. And I think that maybe that throws people off, and they're like, oh no, I'm gonna look at it. So I think it put me in a position of less fear. For some reason, we always feel like we have something to lose. And now I don't really feel like I have anything to lose. So I just demand the time, the attention, the 10 minutes. And then you tell me I literally just had a conversation with my manager. I'm like, listen, what's going on with this? If you think I'm shit, it's not gonna hurt my feelings. Tell me I'm trash, I'll take an acting class and throw my middle finger up. But tell me what it is that you need. And he was like, oh, I was really ready for this conversation. So it's like, it made him respect me a little bit more. So I think that, we have nothing to lose. All we have is no. We get no's every day.
yeah,
Right? I mean, so what's a no?
Sure.
What's someone telling you you're not talented? You know what I mean? It doesn't really mean anything. It doesn't mean that you're not talented. That's that person's perception. And you don't have to buy into that. Exactly.
Speaking of which, the acting thing,
Yeah.
actor to actor, how
Yeah.
are you? Jacob,
Thank you.
welcome to the show.
Hey, Jacob.
Yes.
Actor.
I love it. So I wanted to know your experience with your short film, Melinda. Tell me about that.
Oh man, Melinda was a great opportunity for me because I literally, I was just in acting class and doing like some sense memory, I went to class one day and she was like, how are you doing? And I wanted to give her what I wanted to be, which was, I'm great. Like, I'm doing great. I'm wonderful. My kids are good. And she was like, why do I feel like that's bullshit? And I was like, she caught me. And I'm like, because it is bullshit. And she was like, I want you to come to me with however you are.
Right.
And I guess as an actor,
That rawness.
that's one thing that we have to learn to just be comfortable with. And if it's always down, we have to come to class with always down and given that. And she was like, I want to offer you this role. But the thing was, I was surrounded by all these major actors, women who won the Tony, someone who's in Jivvy on Broadway, and here I am, just this little girl from reality TV, trying to fight against like this stereotype, and I didn't have any lines in this short. So it was just so important for me to just give everything this character had to give,
Right.
without giving everything away. So it was amazing for me. It was amazing for me for her to even think of me. Because it could have been anyone, it could have been any actor. She has relationships with so many actors that she would say, I want you to be this person.
Right.
And so it was amazing.
Yeah. And a lot of people don't realize that just because you're acting doesn't mean you have to have lines. You could be picked for a specific role, for a specific character, and you don't have lines, and that's even more difficult. You have to be even more enveloped into the character in order to portray the reality and the realness of that person.
Exactly.
Because that person is alive before they got there. That
Before
person,
they-
well, the story began before
Exactly.
it was in the script, and,
Yes.
and it must continue. So a lot of people don't realize that.
Yeah.
They're not in acting.
So when we show that in many different places, Melinda, people always come to me and they're so shocked by just what they were able to learn by their character without one line.
Right.
So I mean, it was a great thing for me. I loved it.
I love it.
What are some of the differences, like the major differences that you see and that you may have to deal with when it comes to reality TV versus being an actress? Like where you're acting with the script versus when they just say, here, take this and go with it.
I think that reality TV, I'm not so much in my head because it wasn't something that I wanted to do. It was just something I did. Like when you look at people, like even if you look at Nina Simone and how at the end of her life, she just cried about the fact that she just wanted to play the piano. And she did this thing, and her life is just haunted by doing this thing that she chose to do, but not what she wanted to do. And so I think for me, that's reality TV. It was just something that came up that I did, that people judge me by, right or wrong. I don't really feel the need to say it's yay or nay, but I feel like that's what people judge me by. And so I think that it's got its pros and cons. It gave me an opportunity to work in front of a camera and not really give a shit. so that I can learn to relax when I really do give a shit.
Right.
So when you talk about, how reality TV goes into your acting now, but how did your previous experience as an actress go into being on reality? Say, like, you use the technique to deal with a certain situation because you were just like, nah, or...
Listen, the only technique I ever used from acting that I translated over into reality TV is just relaxation. Like trying to be relaxed because I have no idea what he or she is going to say to me. So it's like trying to be calm and just know like you can't choke someone out. You can't hit them in the head with a frying pan with some hot grits. You can't slap every person every time they come to you. So it was just relaxation techniques. That was
Hey Tara, it's your girl Harmony, the mom of Songbird, and I just wanted to introduce myself before I ask you this question. I have admired you for a minute just because of your poise and your grace and how you acted in a hostile situation. You still kept your composure. And I'm also a person that believes in affirmations and walking in purpose. I would like to know, what do you find, or what did you discover your purpose is at this point moving forward, and what would you like to do in your career? What is the peak of your career that you would like to reach?
you know what? That's everyday battle, and that's an extreme battle from last night until this morning because I couldn't sleep last night. And one reason I could not sleep is because my soul is just not rested in anything that I do. And so I had the opportunity to just so happen to be on Facebook, and I ran across this book called Barracoon. Barracoon was a documentary written by Zora Neale Hurston, and it was her opportunity to go to Penn Station, take a train all the way down south and interview the last living slave that came over on a slave ship before it was abolished. And she, in that book, Alice Walker wrote the foreword, and the foreword is just so amazing because she speaks about this word erasure. And the word erasure means that to erase all of our history, right? So we are a living people in this world as African Americans, and we have absolutely nothing that we really relate to. We don't have a history. Like, if you look at certain people, Jewish people, they have things that they do before they eat that constantly brings them to what happened to them. We are the only people where our history was completely erased. So if you were to take us and put us back into our homeland, we are just as absent as we are right here. And even with all of that that has happened to us, we are determined to make a culture for ourselves and redefine it for ourselves with all of our struggles. And learning that constantly allows me to evolve myself. And I'm like, well, maybe I'm not supposed to be an actor. Maybe I am supposed to be this, or maybe I am supposed to be that. So what I've learned to do is like let go of the past, whatever I thought that to be, and move forward into what moves and drives me and my desire. And I had no idea that book was going to affect me like this. This one interview of one man that talks about, and not just to mention who we are as a people and how we have been brainwashed as to what slavery was. Like, we are completely brainwashed as to what that was. We just know a history class where it was just a mishap that happened to our people and we should get over it. But it was so much deeper than that. And I feel like that's lost, and just the education of that, the need, the drive, the desire to be more aware of self has taken me to a different place. I was honestly motivated by my son and even Ken Starr, and when he talks about
what about the porn star?
I was motivated by that too, you know, as a Pornhub subscriber. But I will say that just for the simple fact that you know, what they tell us is this story that's not true. Even that has been fed to us. Everything that's happened in our lives, we have to question, did that really happen? Does this person really exist? Or is this just a bone that they threw us? Because when you look at documentaries of, you know, even Martin Luther King and how different supposedly he and Malcolm X really were, they really weren't. You know, this is just one person at one part of his life that told us the story. But by the end of his life, it was completely different. And all of these videos or documentaries are really available to us just on Netflix if we just take the time to look at them.
Research.
I mean, and maybe it'll change all of our view, you know, as to who we really are and what we really want to do and what our purpose, it makes it a little bit deeper. Because we are more than just we have become. We are much deeper than that. We are a group of people that have history, that had traditions, that had many things that we have just tried to make up based on what society's taught us to be.
So I know you have kids. How do you juggle your career and your children and what you like and be happy? Because I know I barely have time for myself, just running around for everything. Yeah.
Honestly, everything comes after fractions. Right now, my son's in the 5th grade. We're dealing with fractions, so everything to me is like an equivalent fraction, simplest form, reciprocal. So I get a high off doing that stuff. So at 3 o'clock, which is coming up now, I'm supposed to be home because we're ready to work, and everything comes after that, and that's just how it is. So if I have to go without a little bit, then I just have to go without because my son didn't ask to be here, and his education and the freedom that he should have comes after everything before. And the idea that a mother should take time for herself, it all sounds good in theory, but it's just not the way it is. And so that's just how it is. I'm gonna have to drink it for the ambition.
You got some for you.
So you talked about being judged as a reality star. Do you find that affects being typecasted as you try to transition over from reality television into more of a mainstream acting role?
Sure, but I really don't care. You know what I mean? Like, I'm at a point where I can say, fuck you. Or, like, are you nuts? You know what I mean? Like, look at what reality stars have done. We now have women who've done major things from reality TV. Even before we get to Cardi B, there's K. Michelle. There's like Rashida, who's been in Forbes. There's so many women that have done so many different things before we get to Cardi B, who's just exploded, and now our goddess of what a reality TV personality can become, and just the power that we have. But I really don't care what people say. Like, it's so funny because I like to sit in meetings and I love to act like I don't know, and just be confused until it's time for me to not be confused, and then it just confuses the room. So I don't mind playing that.
That's where the action comes in.
I have one more question for you. Your hairline, are you still doing that? Are you still pursuing that?
I was promoting one line, but it's like, everyone has like a hairline, so it's interchangeable. I was doing something last year, I'm doing something this year.
Do you have something else that you're doing this year?
This year I'm just focused on acting.
Okay, good.
There's Miss Wallace & Co., which is a clothing line dedicated to styling, dressing women with my body type who may have the little fupa. That we can be gorgeous without. I love the women that can show it all. I follow these women. I'm like, dang, I wish I could lift my leg like that, but I just can't.
You just did.
Right. But so it's like I wanna gear it to women who have real bodies. I'm afraid to go under the knife. I'm sure. I'm sure I can go to Columbia and get it done for free, but I don't want to do it. It's like scratching on my white surface, my perfect surface. I don't want to.
Scary.
You're not doing it.
I'm not doing it.
You're not doing it.
I'm not doing it.
I don't want you to.
So I want to make sure that woman, Miss Wallace & Co., is me, and we all have a little something to hide, whether it's the bad paint job, whether it's a terrible pinky toe from kicking her brother out of the room and kicking the bed and breaking it. Just little things that we all have that we all can relate to, that I want to dress. I want to dress that woman, and I want to identify with her because that is who I am.
And me and her also have a podcast coming out right after I get out of surgery and heal and whatnot. Restoring the Monogamously Promiscuous podcast.
Why you didn't tell us about that?
Hey, I just told you about it. Did you hear me?
We heard it.
Did you hear me? Did you hear me? Okay.
So we know that the camera has been into your personal life, especially in your more intimate areas such as a relationship. Is there any area in your life that you feel is taboo to the camera that is just an absolute no-no?
All of my relationship life, you only know what you see.
Right.
And it sucks for me because I don't put that out there, so people just automatically think that I'm all my life, woe is me crying over one person, but that's never been the case.
Thank you for checking everybody.
You know what, that was what he did, I supported it. It's just not my everyday life. I just don't talk about it. So it's very important to me that even if I date someone who's a very private person, because, you know, like any woman, I may not like him after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
I deserve the same freedom to date and make up my mind.
Just like men.
Yeah.
Having a man.
Well, not just like they be out.
Yeah. But I just like my privacy. I do like certain elements of my privacy. So.
Do you have any projects coming up?
But that also keeps me unemployed on reality TV.
Two more questions, y'all. Two more. Let's make them dope.
Do you have any upcoming projects that you really would like everyone to know about?
Yes, I actually booked a couple of new projects, like short films, which is part of the grind of all of it, so that you have to keep in mind, you know, look out for. The Goddess Potential, which is it's just like timeless. The Goddess Potential is just motivating everyone, whether it's a woman fresh out of a relationship, going to a new job, just rediscovering herself. The Goddess Potential is just timeless. It's not something that, and that was the wonderful thing about writing that book, was that it wasn't something that we could promote for a short period of time, because I've talked about the penis size of some man. It's just about like redeveloping who we are as women and taking the time, no matter what's, like letting the past go, constantly stepping into it.
One more question.
So we had some lovely porn stars here earlier, and the word anal came up. Yay or nay?
Hey! Equal sign. You know,
You heard it here first, people!
It's 1/3 greater, equal, or less than 2/4.
Alright, bullshit, y'all.
All right. Is there anything you want to tell Boy That Bullshit before we get out? This is our anniversary too. So a couple of days from being on Boy That Bullshit.
So this is my almost a year to the day, my anniversary of being on Party and Bullshit. I had so much fun the first time, and I was so excited when Jack asked me to come back today. Listen, it's just amazing to be here. You don't even realize you're in an interview because it's so much party, and then you realize like just amount of party is equal to the amount of bullshit. Yeah. So be careful when you guys come here. All right, and keep pressing forward, and all the best to everyone.
Yeah.
Yay!